Tonight on the Bayou Breakdown,
the latest on the passing of Pope Francis,
LSU Gymnastics season ends in heartbreak,
and our predictions for the NBA and NHL playoffs.
All that and more, the Bayou Breakdown starts now. Welcome to the Bayou Breakdown. I'm Madelyn Frentress.
And I'm Olivia Girardi.
We open our broadcast tonight with news from the Vatican that Pope Francis, the 266th man to serve as Pope and the first pontiff from Latin America, has passed away from a cerebral stroke that led to irreversible heart failure aged 88. Previously, Francis went to the hospital with bronchitis on February 14th, which developed into double pneumonia and spent 38 days there, the longest hospital stint of his 12-year papacy. Francis made his last public appearance yesterday on Easter Sunday to bless thousands in St. Peter's Square. Beforehand, he met with current U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance. Francis was known for his humble and, quote, no-frills approach to the papacy and was the first pope on record to advocate for LGBTQ rights as well as climate change. Cardinal Timothy Dolan, the Archbishop of the New York Diocese, spoke on the Pope's impact in his last days.
We can never choreograph our own birth or death, can we? That's always in God's hands. But if you could choreograph it, you couldn't choreograph it any better than what happened. The last time we saw him, Easter Sunday, the last words, a blessed Easter, as he gave us his blessing. You couldn't have choreographed it better, and we thank him for that. The way he lived and the way he died, he was a great teacher.
The impact of Pope Francis' passing is being felt all over the world, including here at LSU. Over 86,000 residents in East Baton Rouge Parish are with the Catholic Church, according to the 2020 census, with 21 congregations in the parish, including Christ the King here on LSU's campus. One LSU student and member of Christ the King shared his feelings on Francis.
Like the Lord took him home today, and yeah, we pray for the repose of his soul. We just celebrated Easter, and we're still celebrating Easter, the Lord's resurrection, and so we trust in the Lord that that Pope Francis will enter into the resurrection with our Lord and be home with our Lord. Yeah.
LSU baseball faced their fourth-ranked matchup of the season as they faced number 21 Alabama at home. But after winning back-to-back games to win the series, the Tigers weren't able to close out their Easter weekend on a high note. Reporter Juliette Marino has the story on why the Tigers couldn't capture a series sweep against the Crimson Tide.
Well, after starting off the series strong with back-to-back wins against the Crimson Tide, LSU would drop the final game for their Easter weekend as they would lose 4-7 against Alabama. The reason why this loss happened to the Tigers was simple. They couldn't get on base, and they struggled pitching on the mound. Since the first pitch was thrown to the final out of the game, LSU will only have a handful of successful at-bats, such as Jared Jones' single home run and Jake Brown's 2-run home run deep into left field. But the main problem for them was on the mound. By the end of the game, the Tigers would have rotated through not one, not two, but 8 different pitchers, showing a lack of consistency from its bullpen.
You have to bring it every single day, all the time, and that's a mindset challenge for us and our team and our players, and Alabama was a little better today.
Not only was the pitching inconsistent, but also the at-bats. By the end of the night, LSU's batting average was .212, their lowest of the series. But despite the issue at hand for the Tigers, players like Jake Brown believes that his team has some positives to look back at within this series, and trusts that the Tigers can only look forward to what's in front of them.
Just keep on going. We obviously have a really talented team. We have a lot of good players, and we're able to play some really good baseball and we're at our best. We had probably our best game of the week on Thursday. So it's just playing at that level every game. If we can continue to do that, we'll be a really fun team to beat.
The Tigers hope to bounce back from this loss as they face Tennessee on the horizon, as well as Northwestern State on Tuesday. For Tiger TV Sports, I'm Juliette Marino.
LSU hopes to find consistency on the mound and at bat this week as they face Northwestern State on Tuesday and number 4 Tennessee on Friday.
LSU softball is struggling to stay in the top 10 after another SEC series loss. The Longhorns took the series in a dramatic 6-5 walk-off win on Saturday, but the team didn't go without a fight. In Friday's win, Jaleel Lassiter had 3 runs, putting the team over the top. Saturday, though, they didn't come out with a win, but big plays from Danica Coffey kept the Tigers from losing in a blowout. The team will be back in Tiger Park on Tuesday to take on McNeese.
And next at 5, how LSU Gymnastics season ended in heartbreak in Fort Worth, and one LSU men's tennis player bringing some international flair into Baton Rouge.
The Purple Room is back.
We're back this semester with episodes every Friday.
And we're talking the latest on everything LSU sports, news, lifestyle, and more.
And we're bringing you some exclusive interviews with top-tier guests.
The Purple Room Podcast.
Tune in every Friday wherever you get your podcasts.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable. The sad reality is, fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kitchen now.
You need some help?
Your tow chains are a little loose. Could spark a wildfire. I could show you how to secure them properly if you'd like.
Sure. Thanks a lot.
Anytime. You should check out SmokeyBear.com. They've got a bunch of tips on wildfire prevention.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back. Well, Madeline, our trip to Fort Worth was unfortunately cut a bit short when LSU had their season ended in the semifinal of the national championship.
Yeah, Olivia, it was a really disappointing night, especially for those seniors who didn't even know they'd be competing for the last time. They really just couldn't stick much of anything, and there were just consistent little mistakes across the board.
Yeah, Madeline, it was an uncharacteristic performance that took everyone by surprise, including head coach Jay Clark. But let's take a look at what could have caused the Tigers to stumble on the biggest stage.
It was heartbreak for the LSU Tigers on Thursday after they came up short in a hard-fought battle to protect their national title in Fort Worth. The Tigers found themselves on the defensive end early into the first rotation of the meet after many small mistakes on the bars left them in the third spot, and they never seemed to recover. Head coach Jay Clark says that tonight the team was their own worst opponent.
Whereas before we were chasing something, now we were being chased. And that shifts your perspective a little bit. There's places throughout all 4 events where we could have done a little better and just never could seem to get out of our own way.
After the third rotation, the Tigers were able to propel themselves from 4th place all the way up to 2nd, but they didn't have the momentum needed on vault to secure a spot in the championship. Coach Clark says he's proud of this team no matter what the result of this meet was because of the grit and the strength that they had showed all season long.
They finished the year with 6 in a row, 198 plus scores. They won both levels of the conference. They won the NCAA regional in a very, very tough field that included one of the teams on the floor in here tonight. I'm proud of them. They're a championship team, you know. We fell short today, but that's about the only spot we fell short.
Although the Tigers won't be bringing back a national championship ring to the boot, they will still be remembered as record breakers for LSU Gymnastics and the reigning SEC champions.
Now, the Tigers' trip wasn't all that bad as freshman Kaylin Gio was named the 2025 NCAA Vault champion, and the team finished their season as the 5th best in the nation.
Yeah, she'll definitely be one to watch. LSU Gym will spend their offseason getting healthy and training hard in hopes of reclaiming their 2024 national title.
As LSU Gymnastics shifts into their off-season mode, the LSU men's tennis team is heading into the end of their season, and one international Tiger has shown what it takes to be at the top. Reporter Breja Clark has more info on the man bringing some Brazilian flair to Tiger tennis.
Now that was an interesting serve, but it's nothing compared to what a certain LSU men's tennis player brings to the court. From Brazil to Baton Rouge, Enzo Coleman's journey is just getting started. Coleman is a freshman standout on the team, bringing international experience and a strong competitive edge to the Tigers roster. Beginning at the age of 3, Coleman was destined to be great. Growing up, he was surrounded by tennis. With both of his parents playing the sport, you could say he was born with it. Coming from Sao Paulo, Brazil, Coleman emerged as one of South America's top recruits in his class. The 18-year-old would win the Brazilian National Championship in 2023 in both singles and doubles.
I was not expecting to go pretty good, and then I won it. I get really happy. I mean, it was like a tournament that I really wanted to win, so it was pretty nice.
Moving from Brazil to Louisiana can be a drastic change, but Coleman is adjusting just fine to the new culture. He chose LSU for one reason and one reason only, to get him to the pros.
In Brazil, I didn't have the good instructor to go to professional tennis and a good support for travel, and here, I mean, we have everything.
What separates Coleman from the team isn't just his talent. It's his mindset to continue to grow and be great, and no matter what, give 100% of effort. Even though sometimes pressure gets to him, it's a part of the game. And for Coleman, it's something he's learned to face, not fear.
I learned that all the time we're going to have pressure. It's always the way that we handle that, because most of the times we're going to play here for the LSU. It's a pressure, but we can't put that on the top.
For Coleman, tennis has taken him around the world, but the biggest lesson wasn't about rankings. It's about putting in hard work and achieving the results you set.
You can achieve everything, and if you hard work also, you can make everything.
I'm definitely not a tennis player, but Coleman is. As the NCAA championship comes up, he's geared up and ready to bring home the title. For Tiger TV Sports, I'm Breja Clark.
Now, even though the LSU men's tennis team won't be competing in the NCAA tournament, individual players still have a chance to qualify for the NCAA singles and doubles championships this May. And when we talk about athletes at the top of their game, we often think about the biggest schools. But after the break, Kennedy Banks joins us in studio to look at some D2 stars looking to make noise on draft day.
The Purple Room is back.
We're back this semester with episodes every Friday.
And we're talking the latest on everything LSU sports, news, lifestyle, and more.
And we're bringing you some exclusive interviews with top-tier guests.
The Purple Room Podcast.
Tune in every Friday wherever you get your podcasts.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable. The sad reality is, fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kids should know.
You need some help?
Your tow chains are a little loose. Could spark a wildfire. I could show you how to secure them properly if you'd like.
Sure. Thanks a lot.
Anytime. You should check out SmokeyBear.com. They've got a bunch of tips on wildfire prevention.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back to the Bayou Breakdown. I'm Kennedy Banks, back with another edition of Robbing the Bank. The NFL Draft is just 3 days away, and over 200 young men are preparing to hear their names called. We're all familiar with the Power 5 prospects and schools, but today I want to shine a light on some D2 prospects I think deserve their own spotlight. Let's get into it. Up first, we have a DB from Southern Arkansas, Melvin Smith Jr. He was the only D2 player to be invited to the Reese's Senior Bowl this year. He tested his skills, showing off his impressive athleticism and his ability to excel in press coverage where his patience and footwork caught the eye of some NFL scouts. Smith is a do-it-all type of back, and he really shines off the line of scrimmage. He has impressive speed and his hip fluidity to run with a receiver on the deep routes. Sticking in the backfield, we have a highly awarded DB from Central Washington. Tanner Volk has built himself a beyond impressive resume. He's been awarded the Cliff Harris Award, which is given to the best defensive player in D2. He's a multi-time All-American and a 2-time Lone Star Conference Player of the Year. He is arguably D2's biggest ball hawk with 24 interceptions in his career, and 13 of them came last season. Moving up to the line of scrimmage, we have a standout linebacker from Saginaw Valley State. Micah Kressinger is NFL ready. He's 6'2", 240, and he's reminiscent in size of Pro Bowler Matthew Judon, who coincidentally also came from the GLIAC. Kressinger was a tackling maniac with the Cardinals with 271 total tackles in his career, 32.5 going for a loss and 7.5 with sacks. He really turned head after he had a standout pro day with the 4.6 40, 4.37 shuttle, and 29 bench press reps. He'll be highly coveted for teams looking for big production in the later rounds. Keep an eye out for these guys in the draft and after that, because their names might carry some weight at the next level. That's all for this edition of Robbing the Bank, but we've got plenty more to talk about tonight. Ladies.
Thanks, Kennedy. And speaking of elite athletes, it's playoff time and in the NBA and NHL.
That's right, Madeline. And after the break, we'll make our championship predictions.
The Purple Room is back.
We're back this semester with episodes every Friday.
And we're talking the latest on everything LSU sports, news, lifestyle, and more.
And we're bringing you some exclusive interviews with top-tier guests.
The Purple Room Podcast.
Tune in every Friday wherever you get your podcasts.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable. The sad reality is, fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kitchen now.
Welcome back. And Olivia, it's the best time of the spring season. Playoff basketball is back. Who do you got going all the way to the championship?
Yeah, Madeline, I'm going to take the #1 team in the West right now in the Oklahoma City Thunder. They're coming off an absolute beatdown of the Grizzlies on Sunday, winning that game 131-80. And the entire team has been on fire all year and shows no signs of slowing down. And I don't know about you, but I'm not rooting against that momentum train.
Yeah, Olivia, speaking of momentum, I'm going to take the Boston Celtics, and if you know me, I don't like a back-to-back champion. I like to mix it up, but this is just a super team. You've got Tatum, Brown, Holiday, Porzingis, and White on the same team. They're unstoppable on offense and defense, but not only is playoff basketball back, playoff hockey is back as well. Who do you got going all the way to the Stanley Cup?
Yeah, Madeline, I'm going to take the Colorado Avalanche for this one. They've got some huge offensive production right now from staple players like Nathan McKinnon, who scored 2 goals in Game 1 against the Stars in that 5-1 victory, and they just got their team captain back from the IR. What about you, Madeline?
I'll be taking the Winnipeg Jets there, Olivia. I think they'll beat the Avalanche in round 2, and I think they'll go all the way to the Cup. The offense has been great with Kyle Connor, and they've got one of the best goaltenders in the country as well in Josh Morrissey. But that's all the time we have for tonight. For Tiger TV, I'm Madelyn Frentress.
And I'm Olivia Girardi. Good night.